The first earthly home of Jesus was a poor stable in Bethlehem. 16 centuries later, in the little town of Rouen, France, the Word made flesh finds another home. 3 French women come together in poverty and simplicity. Jeanne De Matel and 2 friends. The small community gives him welcome on earth once again, in a congregation honoring his divine person and his humanity, the incarnate Word.
Good morning, teachers and students. Today we celebrate the 351st anniversary of Mother Jeanne De Matel's birth into heaven. We thank God for the gift of Jeanne Chézard de Matel, Apostle of the Incarnation, Vessel of God, Messenger of the Gospel of Love and Goodness, and Prophet Woman of all time. Happy Feast Day, Jeanne Chézard de Matel.
Good morning, angels. This is Sister Brenda Thompson coming to talk to us this morning about Jeanne De Matel.
Good morning. I'm Sister Brenda Thompson. I'm director of the Heritage Gallery at Incarnate Word Convent. This morning, I'd like to share with you the story of the feast of the death of our foundress, Jeanne Chézard de Matel. Our sisters will celebrate this day tomorrow with a special Mass with prayers and a special meal. Now, you might ask, why do we celebrate this feast when someone dies? Well, it's because we've loved that person and because of their effect on our lives. It's important for you to know that the first half of the 17th century was really the most fruitful in the history of the Church in France. Churches and religious orders were thriving. Children were receiving a Catholic education, and the poor were being taken care of. In the city of Lyons, where our order was founded, we can begin to trace a portrait of the life of Jeanne Chézard de Matel.
She was born on November 6, 1596, in Rouen, France. Her father was a nobleman, and her mother was distinguished for her great intellect. Jeanne was the 5th of 8 children. She was the joy and charm of her family. As a happy young child, she also developed a great love of Christ through her reading and prayer with her family. On her 15th birthday, she began her life in society, and during that time she struggled with her prayer life. This struggle did not last long, however. She soon began to prepare herself to offer her life to Christ.
July 2nd, 1625 was the beginning of our order. Jeanne went to Mass with 2 of her friends who also wished to offer their lives to Christ. They moved into an old building previously abandoned by the Ursulines community. It was there that she was chosen to be superior of the little group. Jeanne traveled to Lyons to obtain from the Archbishop approval of another foundation at Rouen. She drew up a petition asking the Holy See in Rome to approve the order. 5 years later, Pope Innocent X confirmed the approval. Jeanne founded 4 Incarnate Word orders in Rouen, the home of her childhood.
Here is the photo of Monastery of Lyons. During the French Revolution, the convent was burnt to the ground, and the sisters were forced to find shelter anywhere they could until after the Revolution. The summer of 1670 was most difficult for Jeanne. She had been traveling to ensure the security of the order in its many houses. Exhausted and in failing health, she stayed in Paris Monastery in Montparnasse for 20 years, served the order there. On the evening of September 10, 1670, knowing she was dying, she requested permission to receive the habit of the order. At that ceremony, she received the name Sister Mary of Jesus, as she had chosen long ago.
As still the tradition for us today, the sisters gathered around her bed to comfort her and pray. Finally, at 10 p.m., Jeanne began to rest a little more comfortably. The doctor encouraged the sisters to leave the room and take their own rest. 2 sisters remained at bedside along with the priest. Jeanne woke and asked her sisters if they could see Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, who she said had appeared to her and invited her to join them in heaven. The sisters, seeing that Jeanne was near death, hurried to gather all the other sisters again to return to her room. When they were assembled, the priest recited the prayers of the dying. She died at 1 a.m. on the 11th of September. She was 73 years old.
Her body was brought to the chapel so that the many friends of the sisters could come and pay respects. 2 days later, the doctor came and removed her heart that was sent to Lyons, where it remains encased in the archives.
In the early times, it was a tradition that the heart of a person was considered holy, was removed and preserved as a possible future relic and witness of their goodness to others.
After the funeral service, her remains were interred at the foot of the altar. Jeanne died as she had lived, noble, courageous, and humble in the face of all the opposition and persecution she had suffered in her efforts to begin the order of the Incarnate Word.
So today our sisters serve throughout the world with joy and great love. As often as possible, we all gather at different host locations for sharing, long-term planning, and of course, just the fun for being together.
These are reunions that took place in Mexico and other in Victoria in 2019.
Map
Showing
where
our
order
serves
throughout
the world.
Praise be the Incarnate Word.
Now and forever.